Hello, this is Jam Master Daniel 96, and this is our third attempt of doing this. And joined with me is a very special guest. Introduce yourself.
Third attempt because my internet sucks.
Yeah.
But
All right.
yeah. But my name is Ben. I run the channel Appreciating Star Wars, where I do streams where I talk about Star Wars, and I'm gonna make some more analysis videos soon. I'm just starting out, but it's super fun. I have a fan film on my channel, and some edits, some memes, more content coming soon, and yeah. But super excited to be here with Jedi Master Daniel 96, and we're going to talk Bad Batch, and it's going to be awesome.
All right. Let's do this. So, what did you think of this episode?
It was incredible. I had the time of my life watching this.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
a
was
good
at
episode. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was at Goldman's watch party. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Just the score was incredible. The score was my absolute favorite
Yeah.
part. Just so many chills,
Yeah.
especially in that opening. Like I love the opening.
Yeah. Yeah, like it brought that more traditional Clone Wars opening as well. And I liked how with the logo, the Clone Wars logo, then it changes to the Bad Batch logo as well. I thought that was pretty cool. Then the opening with like it shows like Revenge of the Sith animated scenes, which I thought was cool as well. And kind of, this being like during episode 3, as where like Siege of Mandalore takes place concurrently with episode 3, and then
Yeah,
seeing Order 66 from Ahsoka's perspective. And then in this one, you see Kanan's perspective of Order 66, and it retcons the Kanan comic. And I know people were kind of like maybe frustrated with it, but by the end of the day, the movies and shows are kind of what comes first. And that's
hmm
more to like what the majority will experience on the Star Wars media, but movies is the main one, but like the TV shows is second, and the books, games, and comics is like third. If that it does, but it was like kind of cool to see it from his perspective. And then seeing it with the Bad Batch, his transition was interesting as well. Like I felt like Crosshair was more loyal to the Empire, and then as you look from the trailers, it looked like he was going to be more with the Empire, is where the other guys, were going to be more against them as well. If
yeah.
you and then so that's that, and then you get to the mission to Onderon, and then that's where we see Saw Gerrera, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. Like kind of seeing him in that post Clone Wars kind of setting. And we see him, more, closer to the OT with Fallen Order, Rebels, and Rogue One. But it's kind of cool to like see him in the aftermath of the Clone Wars. What would you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, 100%. And in addition to Saw Gerrera, Kanan Jarrus, when I heard when I heard his master say Caleb, I immediately knew Caleb Dune.
Yeah,
And wait, is it Caleb Dune or Caleb Doom?
Doom.
Doom. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm not like
Dume.
right. Yeah, I'm not like
Go
that
ahead.
upset as some other people are about the comic and like the little retcon and stuff. But yeah, it was just so
Yeah.
cool to see him, just the origin, just kind of him
Hmm.
at a younger age, um, just being a Jedi, and seeing another
Yeah.
perspective of Order 66 like that was incredible.
Yeah, and it's like we've been getting a lot of Order 66 perspectives. Like, I mean, in the recent times with Jedi Fallen Order, Clone Wars season 7, and this,
Yeah,
which was pretty interesting as well. It's just like I feel like it adds more depth to Revenge of the Sith as well. Like, what makes it probably one of the top tier Star Wars movies in my opinion.
yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Like, yeah, like I feel like this episode was more set in the stage what the show was about. It was a very like simple plot to follow to show you what this show will be like. Like it shows the characters are with like Wrecker, Tech, Hunter, and then who's the Echo? Did I say Echo?
I don't think you did.
Yeah, Echo, and then the new character Omega are kind of like the core group, and then as I said, Crosshair is going to join the Empire, as I said earlier, and it was kind of interesting to see what Tarkin's plan was, to see what the clones going forward, and it'd be interesting to see if they do stormtroopers in this, like if we see that transition Like if they don't use clones, I like to see that further down the line.
Yeah, something I literally just thought of as you were saying all that. Maybe they could like have an episode or a series of episodes where like eventually they kind of try getting Crosshair back with them. Maybe they
Maybe like
remove yeah, like they remove his inhibitor chip, and then he gets back with the gang, and so now there are six
yeah,
of them, including Omega and
yeah,
Crosshair.
yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, like kind of like a redemption arc.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because in Rebels, I mean, what we had like Callus who got a redemption arc, like he joins them in the end. Maybe that could happen with Crosshair.
yeah, definitely. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, and that would
Well,
be
one
another
thing
thing.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You go first, and I'll go next.
um, One thing I really appreciated in particular was just the ruthlessness of Tarkin. Like during the tests, he's just like, "Okay, we're doing live
Yeah,
fire. Like, I mean business. Empire
yeah, like,
starting just right from the get go. We're just gonna change
mhm.
things up, make things
Yeah,
much
like
harder for everybody."
I completely agree with you. Like Tarkin, like, I want this way, and then the Camamoans question him, like he didn't
Yeah,
care. Like that's
yeah. I
what
was
it
kind of
did.
nervous. For a second I thought he would just like take a blaster, like for a second I thought he would pull a General Pride, like he would just take a blaster and just shoot those Kaminoans,
Oh
like
yeah,
Pride
like
shooting
what?
Hux.
Yeah, like Zagat's was thinking is like you just said. I mean, yeah, just like it made you like, like wanna like, made you like show you how this is how Tarkin is. It kind of made you want to root against him in a way.
Yeah,
And that's the thing.
yeah.
It's like and that was like even the prison cell one was fun, where like Omega kind of smashes on the clones through the seal and then they just fight him and then they escape and all that.
Right.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Do you think in the next episode we'll see Captain Rex?
Maybe. I mean, they do discuss a guy they know. They mention that. I think Hunter says,
Yeah,
"We know a guy." So, the one of the first things I thought was Captain Rex.
same here.
Um, but it might not be, because I was on some of the Star Wars servers earlier today and on Discord, and a lot of people were talking about how that guy they know could be Cut. Remember Cut from like that one series of episodes where it was the clone farmer and he like married a Twi'lek and they had a
Yeah,
family. I think
in
it might
that
be them
one.
because they want to lay low and stuff. So it could be.
Yeah, yeah, it could be that. That'd be another possibility, but I do think we could see Rex pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean he's in the
And
trailers.
yeah, true. And I doubt we'll see Ahsoka at all in this series.
I think she'll appear at one point or another. I mean she
Yeah,
has to.
she's kind of like the face of animation, but I feel like there are sometimes like I feel like Ahsoka kind of needs to be in out of some areas.
Yeah, like maybe if she can
Like,
just come in at one episode and just save everybody, like kind of do
true.
a give her a hallway scene or something, but like only for
Yeah.
one episode.
Yeah, she can't. Yeah, she can't be. She can't see Captain Rex because that would contradict Rebels.
Yeah, because the first time they meet since Order 66 is in Rebels.
Yeah, yeah, because that's how it is. Like it has to. Like Ahsoka has to be used in some way, but I'm kind of not holding that much hope to see Ahsoka at all in this episode.
Yeah, I mean she literally has her own show coming up, and that's going to be like post Return of the Jedi, post Rebels.
Yeah, yeah,
So
like that's
that's
gonna be.
just save her for that, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say that. Like, and that's probably gonna be more like a Filoni project. That probably the next big Filoni project. Like that's gonna, pretty much post original trilogy, pre sequel trilogy, and who knows? Maybe I don't know of Ahsoka. Will join Luke and Grogu and Ben Solo down the line if they ever go with that show. I mean, that's like my dream Star Wars show.
That would be
And
incredible.
how long do you think Bad Batch will last? A couple seasons?
I don't know. It's hard to tell with these shows because there are so many shows. Like, what are you just going to continue all of these for like 10 seasons or something? Like, okay, maybe not
Yeah,
that long.
I
But
doubt
like,
it will be that.
yeah, well, like Clone Wars, it went on for 7 seasons.
Hmm.
Um, so like, I doubt that all these shows will go for that long.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe
I think,
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, Mandalorian's probably going to go for like 4, maybe 5.
Hmm.
Um, but it's hard to say. I think because there are so many, they're all kind of going to probably have fewer seasons. Like I don't think any of them will have like 7 seasons like the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because I think the difference is when Clone Wars came out, that was more at a time where it was the only big Star Wars project that was coming.
Yeah.
Where Clone Wars, it was more because we never knew like more stuff would happen. Like, I mean, George Lucas, wrote treatments for the sequels and planned a Han Solo movie before selling it and that, and then he kind of had that Star Wars Underworld show, and that was pretty much it. And then Disney, they'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because I feel like, like with that, like I feel like Rebels, had 4, Resistance had 2. I think with Resistance was so short, I think it was limited in case they got like spoilers for like Rise of Skywalker and stuff. And probably I don't know if they had like any insight on the other 2 sequel movies, because like Resistance came out like after The Last Jedi, and probably was in early stages when The Last Jedi was being made in that. So I
Right.
mean, they probably were limited by spoilers in that with Resistance, and
Hmm.
yeah, and maybe it will be like I could see maybe kind of maybe close to maybe a little less than Rebels and maybe a little more than Resistance. I see this show go.
Yeah, maybe. One thing in
Yeah,
particular that I really loved about this episode that we just saw was the pacing.
yeah, I
And
agree
this
as
is
well.
this is something that Clone Wars just in general does really well. Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, and Rebels, and now the Bad Batch, they do this very well. Something that Filoni shines at in particular is, and this, it seems like just a small detail, but in the grand scheme of things, it works really well. Just ship
Yeah.
landings. The way the
Hmm.
ships kind of glide across the screen in like a slow, medium pace, and then the way
Yeah.
they kind of land at a slow pace to establish the location and everything. And it just gives a really kind of calming, but also like very, very prequel-esque kind of feel. Or the prequels did that incredibly well.
Yeah.
Um, the OT did that a little, but not as much. And the sequels barely had any of that. Because, with JJ, it's just everything's so fast, 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 fast.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing with JJ. Like, I feel like with Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, he goes to that fast pace moment. Like, he can make that entertaining fast stuff, is where I think Ryan Johnson can bring you like more interesting depth.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even though The Last Jedi was more reasonably and slower paced than the other 2 films in the sequel trilogy, I still think that, he could have definitely featured more of those ship landings and the way they glide across the screen, things that Lucas really shined at in the prequels and how they're carrying that
Yeah.
on in these other shows.
Yeah, and that's probably like one of the things Filoni learned from George.
Yeah. And I
Probably
actually
that's,
saw, yeah, like
go
I
ahead.
wouldn't have been able to notice that if I didn't see this analysis video on YouTube. I forget who did it, but there was this one channel who like wrote about or he made this analysis video about how the sequels and JJ never did this. And I was like, I think the title of the video was this is one of the reasons why the sequels are flawed. And it
Yeah.
said ship landings. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I didn't consider that.
Was it like one of those channels that just have to like make constant nitpicking, or just the fair criticism?
I mean, I actually think it's a fair criticism because, like I said earlier, it seems like a nitpick. But when you kind of look at the bigger picture, for every location that's established, or for every time the characters go into a new location, you got to have a ship landing, and you got to have the gliding across the screen, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
And when you have more and more of those, it all adds up, and kind of it just really adds to
Hmm.
the feel of the episode.
Yeah. And another thing I like about animation, and it's also established in Mandalorian, is the hyperspace travels, like how you just see the blueness. That's what I like
Yeah,
kind of in these, Filoni projects, is the hyperspace travels.
yeah,
Which we
definitely.
maybe we'll get it further down the line in Bad Batch, and with that as well. Like, yeah, I mean, that was like, like kind of when they land on Camino, then they, when they leave Camino for Onderon, and then the ending when they leave.
Yeah, Camino never sees sunlight, and it's always
Yeah, that's
raining and
an
it's always thunderous. Like, was really interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, in one Clone Wars episode, Kamino didn't like you saw Kamino without rain. I think in one Clone Wars episode.
Yeah, but it's never like sunny. Like it's always a dark planet.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's kind of like also like good analysis. It's almost like you could say in some kind of in ways like Bespin with water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
like
I
Cloud
definitely
City
got
on water.
yeah, and I definitely got Exegol vibes with all the lightning and everything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I think in Rise of Skywalker they had these like subtle nods to the prequels, like the wreckage of the Death Star, the planet that it's on, Kev Bir. You got some
Yeah.
Camino parallels with all the water, and even
Mm-hmm.
in some of the music, you can hear John Williams implementing the Camino theme at one point,
Yeah.
and then with the lightning and the rain and everything, like on
Yeah,
Exegol.
I'll make it I'd have to look for like that, as you said, the Camino theme in the bit where Ray travels to the Death Star wreckage.
Well, no, when Rey travels to the Death Star wreckage on that skimmer that she takes,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Camino theme isn't there, but there are similar shots to like Obi-Wan flying on that
Yeah.
bird dinosaur thing in the
Oh,
waves.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you
But
kind of see that. Yeah.
the Camino theme, it's like in one part when like it's like right when Rey, right after Rey heals Kylo and runs off to his ship. And so like
And then
when
go.
she's in the ship, kind of just like, oh my god, what did I do? You can hear a bit of the Camino theme for a second.
Oh, yeah. Like when she's going to Octo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'd be interested, like, if we see, like, Bad Batch, fighting in the early days of the rebellion.
Yeah, I'd
Or
love that.
Yeah, or like some sort of form. Have you played, the 2005 Battlefront 2?
No, I haven't.
Oh, there's this like mission where you're like a stormtrooper, and then there's like a bit where Boba Fett leads them to go to Camino to wipe out these remaining clones, which I thought was pretty cool. Like seeing stormtroopers against clones, that'd be awesome sometime down the line.
That's epic. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, I feel like, man, we've been rambling too much. Do we have anything else to say on the episode?
Um, I mean, I just love that it was a long premiere, and I love kind of the hopeful ending.
Mm-hmm.
I also, in the beginning when Bad Batch swoops in and their theme starts playing.
Yeah, like you have the boulder come down, and then Caleb, who's Kanan, tells Depa that these are a different kind of clones. I thought that was pretty neat as well.
Yeah, and just the scale of the waterfalls, like oh my god, like such
Yeah.
beautiful shots. Like even though it's not live action, it just looks
Hmm.
incredible.
Yeah,
And
like animation does that pretty well. Like they could take the stuff that would look awesome in live action and they apply it to animation pretty well.
yeah, and I just kind of like in general, I kind of enjoy kind of the arc that Hunter went through and the rest of the Bad Batch. Where at first
Yeah.
they didn't bring Omega. They were like, who is this little girl? We don't need her.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
finally
another
they're
thing
like,
I forgot.
okay, we need her. She knows stuff.
Yeah, the thing I left out is they fight when they have the little food fight,
Oh, that was the best.
That was kind of funny. Then you have like Tarkin watching, then you saw like Echo like is looking up at Tarkin, like you can tell like he had some bad vibes and they referenced the Citadel arc from Clone Wars.
Yeah, one of the funnier parts for me was when one of those clones called them the Sad Batch.
Oh yeah.
Like that was such a burn. Like it really had that kind of middle school kind of bully vibe.
Oh yeah. God, yeah, that as well. Like, yeah, they just have that food fight, which Omega does. That was a fun bit as well. But
Yeah, and
yeah, like,
Omega standing up for them, which was
yeah.
incredible.
Like she seemed to like him like had some interest in him, and then kind of that they would call the clones regs, like which was in season
Yeah.
7 of Clone Wars, like it was one. And
That
then
kinda,
we had,
yeah, that kind of gives me the Harry Potter vibe. These are just Muggles.
yeah,
They don't know magic.
they call it like because they're so unique. And then there's like Palpatine's speech, which is pretty much quoted from Revenge of the Sith.
Literally the same. They took the same exact sound. that
True.
McDermott did, and I just love the way they kind of portrayed his yellow eyes. Like if you look closely, you can see them.
I'll have to look into that. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
like pretty much they just took an audio from that scene and implemented in there.
yeah. I do have one little gripe. You know, we were talking about the Omega stuff and her eating with the Bad Batch. I think, you know, there's this notion of show don't tell that, you know, good filmmakers, they show, they don't tell. You know, you got to tell sometimes, but you need a good balance of it. And so there's, and I get that this is a kid show, so you kind of, I guess, do have to tell a bit more to kind of convey these messages to the children viewers a bit better.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you know, there's this one moment where Omega just sits there and she literally says the words, you know, I know what it feels like to not fit in or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, thank you for stating the obvious.
Yeah, it's kind of like, like they have to put these, it's kind of like those typical themes kind of things of Star Wars in a way.
Yeah.
I think, well, man, we've been saying a lot of stuff. Anything else you'd like to add, or do you just want to jump to conclusion?
I think we can jump to conclusion. I mean, this was a great episode. I loved it. There's so many great things about it. Just going back to that Clone Wars feel, but also going into something new.
Yeah, that's what I had as well.
Yeah, and just the world building of the jungle planet, and you know, just kind of this infighting between the Bad Batch. You know, kill the Jedi, don't kill the Jedi. Are you a good soldier?
Yeah, like how
a good soldier.
Yeah, Cal Hunter lies to him about killing Kanan.
Yeah.
As well, yeah, that's what I liked as well. I feel like it was a good way to like kick off the series. I liked, you know, how it's going to do that Clone Wars vibe, and I wonder if they're going to continue on with the tradition of the newsreel intro like they do in Clone Wars. But I also
I feel like that was only for like the first episode. I have a feeling they're not going to do that anymore. But it was just for the purpose of like transitioning out of the Clone Wars.
Like, I'll be interested to see if they do. Like, I think this is going to be more of a straight, like, kind of like a Rebels series where it's a small group of characters, where Clone Wars is an anthology series. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Definitely enjoyed this episode, just like you did.
Yeah.
And so that does it for us in this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment what you think down below. Did you like this episode? Not like this episode? And you can check out Appreciating Star Wars. And do you have any like social media where they can check you out?
I'm on Twitter. I mean, I just created a Twitter like a couple weeks ago. I think it's twitter.com/appreciating Star Wars.
All right. Well, I'll link that down below along with the channel and all that.
Yeah, I think it's at Appreciating SW.
Okay. Yeah, I'll link that all down below for everyone to check out. And then
thank you.
You can follow me on Twitter at DanR77, on Instagram at JamMasterDaniel96, like my Facebook page, JamMasterDaniel96, and you can join my Discord server, which will be linked down below. Catch you guys next time with another video. Bye.